Con ustedes, aquí y ahora, Robert Pratten. ¡Aplauso!
Hello, everybody. It's never good to start with an apology, but I've got to start with two. The first is apologies for speaking English. All of my team are Spanish speakers, and so it allows me to be very lazy, and then I'm very shameful on occasions like this. And the other one is I've been kissing the British Prime Minister, and she's managed to give me that tickly cough, and I'm hoping I can survive for the next 20 minutes without going into a coughing fit. So my name is Robert Pratten, and I create adventures. In fact, our company mission is to make everyone's life an adventure. And the way that we do that is by creating immersive experiences that play out in the real world. So with the previous speaker, oftentimes when people think about immersive experiences, they imagine people putting on headsets and entering into a synthetic environment. But we're looking at experiences that play out in the real world. So trying to get content that fits around somebody's lifestyle rather than having them adjust their lifestyle to fit to our content. Now, often when people talk about fictional experiences, they use this phrase, the suspension of disbelief. But for us, we use the phrase that comes from Janet Murray, which says the active creation of belief. So we're trying to use people's imagination and allow them to believe that certain things could be real. So we send them cues that allow them to employ their imagination in much more sort of productive ways. And the reason we want to do this is to help people lead happier, healthier lives. Because the success, or otherwise, that we enjoy today are often built on the stories that we tell ourselves. And so we can help people achieve their full potential in life by telling them different types of stories, by sending them content which reinforces or improves their kind of beliefs. So why is this important to brands? The title of this talk is Connected Brand Experiences. And it's this idea that with modern technology like the Internet of Things, Amazon Alexa, the Philips Hue light bulbs, which we love, you can create experiences that actually kind of envelope the audience, that fit around the consumer. And they needn't be just for a single campaign period. They could be something that unfold over the course of a year or much longer periods. So you might say, well, how do we do this? This is a great idea, but our core business is doing something else. Well, our core business is running these connected experiences. And to do that, we have this technology called Conductor. This is the core reason why we exist. And it's called Conductor because it orchestrates the user experience as they move across different platforms. So think of Conductor like this universal kind of tool, and based on the experience that you want to create, you mix and match these different kind of tool sets to create a connected experience. So this is a diagram that I reckon we probably first drew this up in like 2010. We've been going for a number of years now, and it shows these different types of devices that we can listen to. And the system sits there waiting for some kind of trigger. It's waiting for an event to come from the audience or to come from the environment. And then based on the experience that you've designed, it then knows what to do next. So it could be to publish some new content, or it could be to award people some points. So I'm showing, for example, some wearables here. So it could be that you say to someone, connect your wearable into our experience, and what we'll do is we'll monitor how you sleep at night, or we'll look to see how active you are during a particular time of day, and based on that activity, we will sort of change the experience around you. You'll notice in the top right-hand corner there's this audience data part. As people interact, we're collecting information about the way that someone's enjoying or interacting with the experience, and we can use that to create very personalized experiences. So it's not just collecting data so that we can sell them better advertising. It's actually doing something productive with that information, and people volunteer this data because there's this feedback. The more the data they give us, the more we can personalize and improve the experience that they get. So it was at a presentation not too dissimilar to this, that somebody in the audience was from the Home Office, and they said, do you know what, your technology could be used by the Ministry of Defence. I know that they're looking for a technology like that. So we changed our picture and we presented this, and what I'm going to do is explain some of the work that we've been doing in the training area with the Ministry of Defence, and then go back to look at more sort of consumer type experiences. But the point of the talk really is to introduce some different technologies, different sort of concepts, and then to sort of inspire some ideas about how you might employ these in your sort of world. So with this experience, the idea is that the soldier training spans different types of environments. So at some time they might be in a synthetic environment, they might be in a virtual reality type experience, and at other times they might be in a live experience. Or you might have two different types of soldiers training simultaneously in different environments, and we create a connected experience that bridges the synthetic with the real world. And all of this time, real-time information is going back to a training instructor. And what the instructor wants to do is to set the training threshold so that the water level is about here. So someone's breathing, it's not so high that they're drowning, and it's not so low that they're just paddling. It's trying to really optimize the training experience so it tests people. So while we would script a lot of the exercise, the training instructor is able to send injects, is the sort of jargon that they would use. They're able to send new types of content at particular times in order to sort of shift the exercise in a particular direction. So I'm going to show the video of all this kind of technology fitting together. So all the technology that you see in there is all commercial off-the-shelf technology. I don't know how many people have worked with the sort of Bluetooth beacons, but our experience is they're pretty rubbish. And what we've done is, in developing the mobile app, we tune the app to work with a particular type of experience in order to sort of overcome some of the limitations of the beacons. But you can see there that the instructor understands the scenario, understands the story that's being told, and they can look at the warfighters, it can look at their biometrics for different stages of the exercise. So if someone's heart rate is going too fast when actually they should be much calmer, then that might indicate that they're not doing so well under stress. Whereas if if they're running up a hill and their heart rate's going, then that's probably acceptable. So what we've done since then is we've connected in, let's say, less live environments and more sort of tailored, tuned environments. So in this example, on the left, you see an exercise in something called VR Forces, which is like an industry simulation platform. And someone's using the game controller to control this tank. And they can decide, how they're going to approach certain objects and whether they're going to blow them up or not. And on the right, what's happening is we're simulating social media. So we're telling a story based on the actions that somebody takes in that virtual environment. So using an open industry protocol, real-time information is coming from the simulated environment. It's going to conductor, and conductor is looking at where is this scenario evolving to? Which part of the sort of conceptual map are we heading towards? Okay, let's pick that scripted social media content and then send it through to this device. And we've developed that further. So here Maria's sort of showcasing this environment that we've created. On the left, you see the fake social media feed, not much in it at the moment, and also a fake broadcast media. So we can change the broadcast videos depending on the way that people are playing this experience. And also there's like a yellow ticker tape. So somebody can live type different sort of news items in order to, so although most of it's scripted, you can send these live pieces of content to really sell in the idea that this is unique to what you're playing right at the moment, even though most of it has all been pre-prepared. And what you see on the two different screens are a conceptual representation for the way that this experience is playing out. So the way that you might use this, for example, is in what we would call competitive strategy development. So let's say you've got a product and you're going into a new market, or maybe some kind of market entry strategy you're developing. You can create two different teams. They're in different rooms. One team is your team trying to enter the new market, and the other team is playing as the incumbent or as a competitor that's trying to mess up your plans. They're reacting to what you're doing. Now, in the real world, you wouldn't know what your competitors' plans are. You would only see the reaction on social media. You would see the way that the world is reacting to your competitors' actions. And this is what we would simulate in this environment. So you've got two teams trying to develop opposing strategies. And while the adjudicator, while sort of somebody senior enough to understand if this is a good, if this is actually a good match, while they can see all that's going on, all that you can see are your moves and also the way the world is reacting to that. And sometimes you can get lucky. So sometimes you might be successful in this experience. You might win the game. But on review, it might be, well, actually, your opponent didn't really make the right moves. And if you'd have done this against our real competitor, they probably would have reacted in a different way. So what you want to do is go through this several times and let's say collect the decision-making information. So it's not just about how the experience plays out, but it's the rationale behind the decisions. So all of these cards have NFC tags inside them. And using our mobile app, when people make a decision, the scribe, the person that's been assigned to monitor this experience, is kind of just scanning the cards. So in marketing, you've got like the 4 Ps. Well, when I first did my marketing qualification, there was only 4. I think every year since then, someone's added another P. But the point being is that at the end of the experience, you might look back and say, well, you were really relying very heavily on pricing and promotion, and you were neglecting these other Ps. So why don't we replay that again and shift more of the strategy towards this other area? So to go from that kind of controlled environment into something much more open. So this was what I like to call our Mexican sex game. It was something that we developed with the Public Health Institute in Mexico, and it was to encourage young people to get tested for HIV. So what happens is there's an online sort of mobile game, and you build a relationship. You're basically trying to seduce these characters in the game. And also included in the app was this VIP pass to the clinic. So if you go to get yourself checked for HIV and you present this pass, you've got certain additional benefits, like you got to the front of the queue and you had a kind of special VIP treatment. And the doctor or the nurse that gave you the test would generate a unique code which you put into your phone, and then we could track the different game mechanics we were testing back to whether you actually got checked up. So we could look at how effective was this narrative in getting people into the clinic. And there's a guy in the States called BJ Fogg, and he talks a lot about motivation. And what he said is that you can't motivate people to do anything. All you can do is try to understand how motivated they are at a certain point in time, and then give them an exercise that fits their level of motivation. So what we think we can do is, through the interactive narrative, understand how engaged somebody they are, and then send them content which suits their level of motivation. So this is a conceptual thing that we've got on our website that you can click to play through, and what this is demonstrating is content. So it's an entertaining experience which has the byproduct of making somebody lead a more healthy lifestyle. So in this experience, somebody is playing like a space commander. So they're in charge of all these colonists that have left Earth, heading for Ganymede, which is one of Jupiter's moons. And basically, the way that they're taking care of themselves is affecting the crew and the spaceship. So in the morning, somebody gets a message which might be based on their sleep pattern. So let's say they had a very unsettled sleep that night. It might be that your spaceship has encountered like an asteroid storm, or there's some sort of damage on that spacecraft. And now what we're showing here is someone uses the bathroom, and we do a urine analysis and then send that back to them and say, all the crew's dehydrated. You're going to need to drink more water in order to improve the lives of all the colonists that are coming out. So it's an entertaining experience, but it's using the sort of biometrics from the person's wearable in order to sort of personalize it, and their healthy lifestyle is a byproduct. It's not intended to be like a medical thing for them. So this is my final slide, and really it's it's really the message to say, all the technologies that's out there now, it's possible to really wrap a connected experience around the consumer. That's really one that's very personalized, and you're going to gain a lot more insights. But it's not just about getting insights for the purposes of selling advertising. It's about gaining insights for the purposes of building a stronger relationship with your consumers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.